Hello and welcome to the lineup. I'm your host, Linda Woehst, and once again we are on the beautiful Lone Star College-Kingwood campus. Today up first on the lineup, we will visit with Pam Dickson, who is the Executive Director of the Mission Northeast, a charitable organization in our area. She will share information about this giving and important place. And next, we will visit with Judy Cox, who is the director of FamilyTime, a local crisis and counseling center in our area. Mrs. Cox will share with us about all that this helpful place has to offer. And next, we will meet Millie Garrison, the director of the Humble Area Assistance Ministries, and Ester Valladares, the program director, and find out why they say it is a ministry of help and hope. And finally, we will meet Jennifer Dantzler, who is the Executive Director of Including Kids. We will learn about this great organization and all it has to offer people in our community. That is all coming your way on the lineup. Welcome to the lineup. I am so thrilled to introduce to you my first guest this morning, Pam Dickson, who is Executive Director of Mission Northeast.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time for us. I'm so excited to talk about a very important place in our community. Tell us about it.
Thank you. Well, Mission Northeast started as a food pantry in a church in Kingwood in 1995. And in the year 2000, we moved into our own building out in New Caney on Loop 494. But somehow, some people still think that we're just a food pantry or maybe we're a church because of the word mission. But we actually are a full-service social services organization, and that means that we provide basic needs for people living in poverty, and that includes food, clothing, and housewares, household items, basics, pots and pans, dishes, handheld can openers, those kinds of things. And we do a lot more than that now too, as I think you'll find out today.
Awesome. Is there any cost to someone that have these needs for these items?
No, we do not charge for any of our services, and we do not have a resale shop or a thrift shop or any way of actually making money. We rely on donations and support from the community.
Okay, that was leading into my next question. How is it that you provide these items, and how is it the community knows what to bring to you?
Well, they can look on our website or on Facebook. We need basically the basics for people. We're dealing with people living in poverty. They don't need bread makers or pasta makers or golf clubs, those kinds of things. But like I said, just the basics, pots and pans, clothes to wear every day, good healthy food, those types of things. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so whether someone donates an item to us or money to us, then it's a tax write-off for the person who makes the donation.
Okay. Do you have a tie-in at all with the college?
Yes, we do. We have a wonderful relationship with Lone Star College that goes back to 2008. We've had 2 United Way grants that have helped us launch an education and job training program and tied in very closely with Lone Star College-Kingwood and also Lone Star College in Conroe. Because what we do is we want to help people move out of poverty. And the only way to do that, Linda, as you know, is through education and job training. So we have adults that we put through basic types of training schools, welding, CNA, phlebotomy, and a whole range of others, which grows all the time, so that someone can get their foot in the door, get a job, and start to make a change in their life. And what that does is the kids, children, parents see their parents working and going to school and doing homework, and so they can sit down and do that together, and it builds the family, and of course ultimately it builds the community as well.
Wow, that's exciting, really is. So you mentioned already those that live in poverty. How exactly is someone eligible for the services?
We cover a service area of 800 square miles approximately, and that's 11 zip codes. Most agencies work according to zip code. Now, if somebody comes in and they're not in one of our zip codes, we'll be happy to give them food, and then we'll refer them to the places that are in their zip codes. But we do require proof of residence and income for anyone living in a household.
All right. You also, we were visiting before we started, and you mentioned something about a new building. That's exciting for you guys.
Yes, it's very, very exciting. We have a new 5,000 square foot food warehouse, and we're just thrilled with that so that we can better serve the community. One of our big challenges has been at the holidays trying to have enough food to feed an extra 1,000 families in addition to the 1,200 families that we would normally feed in November and December anyway. We didn't have room to store turkeys and hams and fresh produce, and now we do, and we are just so excited about that. And now that we have a new warehouse, we can use some of the areas of the old warehouse for our other areas that we need to, like housewares and clothing, so that everybody has more room to work.
What about volunteers? Do you look for them, or people come in and ask to be a volunteer?
We certainly always need volunteers, and we're very glad to have volunteers. We'd just be very glad for someone to give us a call and find out about how they can volunteer with us.
How about an example of a success story? Someone that you can think of? I know there's probably a lot.
Oh, it's hard to pinpoint a success story. There really are so many. About 3 years ago, we launched a program called Safe Haven, and that's a program that was funded specifically to help people that are living in households that need repair, mostly the elderly and the disabled, where houses or a trailer or wherever the person's living is not safe to live. And so we have been so successful with that. We have a work team, particularly, if I can mention, the CIA team, which is the Christ in Action from from Christ the King Lutheran Church, and they're just awesome. They'll do a survey and determine what needs to be done and go out and fix someone's home and make it livable and safe for them. They build wheelchair ramps and they do minor repairs, and it's just amazing how small things like that can really change a person's life.
Well, you are a very special lady yourself. Thank you. Take time and love on all these people. And I hope the community will hear our story this morning and also come and love on them for you.
Well, I hope so too, and I do want to say what a pleasure it is to be on this show with three of my very good friends, and want to assure the community that we all work together to serve the community. We're not in competition with each other. We work together, and we are so grateful for the generous community that we have to work in.
Thank you, Pam. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Linda.
We'll have you back again.
All right, thanks. I look
You're
forward
welcome.
to it.
Don't go away. We'll be right back to meet another individual in our area, Judy Cox, who will also tell us about another important charitable place in our community. Don't go away. Thanks for coming back on the lineup. I'm here with my next guest, Judy Cox, who is Executive Director of FamilyTime. Judy, let's begin by having you take us back to the beginning of FamilyTime, where this all started.
It all started in 1977 in Kingwood. A group of churches and ministers got together to address the issue of counseling. There was not much here in 77. So eventually they went into victim services, and we were able to obtain grants. And by the early 80s, we were going. And we had established the Rape Crisis Center at Herman Memorial. And we were thinking about a shelter. So in 1996, we established our shelter, The Door. And this year will be 20 years.
My goodness.
The next year we opened the thrift shop in Porter, and we have continuously grown. We've gone from a staff of 3 in 1980 to a staff of 42.
My goodness, and a new building.
And a new building, yes.
That's good news, good news. Who would you say is eligible for the services with FamilyTime?
Anyone.
Okay.
We do not go by zip codes. Anyone that can reach us, we will provide services.
And mainly in a crisis situation? Is that's mainly what you...
Well, crisis, yes, but anytime. Someone may be just having a hard time finding a job or locating services, and we have caseworkers that will help them with that.
Okay. You mentioned the thrift store. Yes. I remember volunteering there as a member of Kingwood Women's Club. Tell us about that.
Well, we established it a year after the shelter because we needed additional funds. And we thought maybe if we could make $10,000 or $15,000 a year, it would help. And the sales last year were over $260,000. Wow. So it is located in a place that serves the community and serves it well. Some people do not shop anywhere but our thrift shop.
That's good. And you have people bring items. That's how you keep
absolutely.
it going.
Any time that they donate, all the money goes back to our services.
Wonderful. You also have events that you hold throughout the year.
Yes.
And I know you've had some in the past already this year and some coming up and some in the future. Tell us about those so we know.
Well, the big one this year is going to be our 20-year anniversary for the shelter, and that's going to be July 27th at our main building. And we're going to try to get people that were there 20 years ago to be a part of that celebration. And then we have our Purple Ribbon Luncheon in October, and our gala is always in January, and that is downtown.
And this helps to support.
Absolutely.
Because you really don't have income, so to speak, other than...
We have grants.
Okay.
And that pays for a lot, but not everything.
Right.
We are contemplating a new shelter in the next 3 to 5 years, so we will be doing a capital campaign for that.
Wonderful. And you have a Dayton location, I understand.
Yes, we do.
Tell us about that.
About 4 years ago, there was a shelter that closed in Baytown. So we were given the option, the other agencies, which county to take. So we took Liberty County, and we opened a counseling office. And then a year later, we opened a small thrift shop. Dayton is extremely underserved. And so we are doing a service. I think the therapist there had 60 new clients last month. So we are getting referrals from CPS, the police, the school. So we're doing a service there.
Tell us, what exactly, if someone is in a crisis situation, give us an example of what they do first, and then where do you all take it from there?
Well, first they have to contact us, and they can either use our crisis hotline or they can come into the office. And they will see a caseworker. If it's an extreme crisis, we will give them a counselor, set them up with a counselor. We have 5 LPCs, licensed professional counselors, and 24 interns.
Wow. Okay.
So we have a lot.
So you're ready.
A lot of counseling. Last year, over 6,000 hours.
My goodness, that's wonderful. What have we not mentioned today that you would want the community to know about FamilyTime?
Well, that we serve everyone, and we try, if we don't have the resources, we resource them out. We work with all the other nonprofit agencies, and if we can't help them, we find someone that will. We are taking human trafficking victims. That is not my expertise, but we have people that are experts at that. We work with FBI and ICE and DPS and a few others. That seems to be a problem, and a huge problem, and sadly enough, even a local problem.
So we're so glad you're there to help them.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Anything else before we let you get back to work?
I think that's about it. We've been around for a very long time. We're going to continue helping people, and we are grateful for this interview. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Before we go, let's have you tell us where the building is located, your office.
Our office building is on Humble, 1203 South Houston, and we are delighted to have this new building, and through community support, we moved into that building debt-free.
Wonderful. That's so awesome. Thank you, Judy, for all the help you give everyone in our community.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being there.
Thanks.
Don't go away. We'll be right back to meet two more individuals that'll talk about another charitable organization in our area. Stay with us. Welcome back to the lineup, and I'm excited to introduce to you my next two guests, Millie Garrison and Ester Valladares. They are here from Humble Area Assistance Ministries. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Tell us, Millie, let's begin by giving us a history of HAAM, how that all got started, our Humble Area Assistance Ministries.
Well, most people do know us as HAAM in the community. HAAM has been serving the community for about 26 years. It started back in 1990 with a few covenant churches in the school district that wanted one central location for services to serve our neighbors in the Lake Houston area. Right. So from there it has grown quite a bit. We currently have 30 covenant churches and lots of partners, and actually are partnering with Lone Star.
Esther, how about your position?
I'm the program director, and I've been at HAAM for 2.5 years, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And as a program director, of course, I provide oversight and management of the programs. We have 4 very distinct programs, and I'm sure that we can talk later about them.
Wonderful. You know, Millie, everybody, I think most everybody in our area knows the word HAAM. They think HAAM. What is something they might not know about HAAM that you can think of?
Well, I think probably the fact that we have, in 2015, we provided over 70,000 clients our basic needs and our self-sufficiency and our education programs. So I think the impact that it has in the community is much larger when you think of HAAM, you know, little old HAAM.
Yes.
But we provide lots of different services, from education to a job bank to financial classes. And we not only help those in crisis, we help feed the hungry, and we help lead families out of poverty and into self-sufficiency.
And speaking of the connection with the college, tell us about that.
Well, actually, April a year ago, it may have been in the beginning of the summer. It's been almost a year that we partnered up with Lone Star and decided to do food fairs. What we realized is that we were having a lot of the students here come to HAAM, and so in between classes and driving, it was a little inconvenient for them. So we decided to bring the food to them. And so we roll up with a mobile unit of fresh vegetables and fresh food and some canned items. And we provide services for 2 to 3 hours where the students or staff, or even it's open to the community. So it's a community-wide event, but a partnership between the two of us and the Montgomery County Food Bank.
Wonderful.
So it's fed a lot of people.
I can imagine. We thank you for that. Esther, tell us about some of the programs that you're involved with.
Well, like Millie was saying, we have a basic needs program, and really the basic needs is addressing the needs of the clients, immediate needs like food, and in this case, like food fairs out in the community, rent assistance, so we prevent clients from becoming homeless, and then utilities. We also have our education program, and we also partner with Lone Star to send people for trainings, you know, like CNA DNA trainings, phlebotomy. And we have our employment program. We conduct hiring events. We have job fairs. We have volunteers ready to help our clients with building resumes and things like that. We have computers so they can navigate the system and obtain a job. And we also have supportive service programs, and those are, like back to school. We assist families with supplies for the children. We have our seasons of sharing. We have Meals on Wheels. We have a lot.
You do have a lot
of services.
That's a lot to take care of.
Yes.
It seems I just heard something recently about spending the night in a box.
We did.
Did you do that?
We did do that.
I saw that.
It was a lot of fun. It was our first Cardboard City in Turner Stadium.
Okay.
And we partnered with the school district and Family Promise. And we wanted to give awareness to what homelessness looks like. And so we had over 200 kids from the district come out. Lots of teachers and churches. And it was a cold, true experience. We had cold soup, and our cardboard was wet by morning because of the dew, the humidity in Houston.
Yes, exactly.
So, but I think it brought awareness.
I was going to say perfect awareness to what many people witnessed. That brings me into my next question, which is talking about community involvement. So how do you go about getting the community to get involved?
Well, we work very closely with the school district, there again with Lone Star. We're very blessed to live in the Lake Houston area because it takes a group effort to do all the things that we do. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's extremely important to partner with as many groups in our area to be able to help our neighbors that are living here.
Absolutely. Anything else that you want to share that's on your heart that you'd like to talk about this morning about HAAM, or do you have a thrift store?
We do. We actually have 2 thrift stores. We have one in Humble, which is by our social service building. And then we have our second one, which is Black Cat Junction, which is on 494, and that's our boutique, and we're very proud of that. But I think what people may not know is that our resale stores provide about 35% of our overall budget. Okay. So it's a direct fund into our services. Right. And we only have less than a 10% overhead on our administrative cost, which I think is extremely good stewards of money. But I would encourage everybody to clean out your closets and donate, because it does go right back into feeding people and keeping people in their homes.
Absolutely. It is spring cleaning time.
Spring cleaning time, that's
Perfect.
right.
Good time to do it. Yeah.
You guys, just like the other folks we've had this morning on the show, you're so special. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for spreading the word.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much.
It's worth spreading. And thank you. And we'll have you back again and visit some more.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't go away. We have one more guest on the show today to introduce to you. Jennifer Dantzler will be here from Including Kids. Stay with us. We're back on the lineup, and I'm here with my last guest today. Last but not least, I have Jennifer Dantzler with Including Kids. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Tell us, what is Including Kids?
Including Kids is a nonprofit organization started about 14 years ago, and we started it to help families on the autism spectrum. It provides many services for families with autism, and our goal is to try to help them be as mainstreamed in the community as possible.
Rates of autism, is it on the increase, would you say?
Rates are very much on the increase. Currently, autism affects 1 in 68 children. It wasn't that long ago that autism affected 1 in 10,000 children. And now they're saying the rates are 1 in 68.
And so your main mission or goal would be to help those children or help the families that have an autism child that has autism?
Exactly. So our goal is to help the families with whatever they need. We provide intensive one-to-one services there called applied behavior analysis. But we have full-time programming, we have after-school programming. We do whatever we need to help the families affected by autism be as successful, as independent, as supported as possible, and that might look like intensive therapy. That might look like helping the parents take their child for the first haircut. It might mean helping them, shaping the child to learn how to get a blood draw or get an MRI. It might be helping advocate for them in certain situations. So we will help the families in whatever way they need.
Okay, so there are different degrees of autism, would you say?
There are. There's an expression that is, if you've met one child with autism, you've met one child with autism. So what makes my job exciting, yet can be challenging, is that every single one of our children look different. You have children that are verbal, children that are nonverbal, children that are aggressive, children that are not aggressive, children who can communicate their wants and needs, children who can't. And so that is why our therapy is one-to-one and so individualized, because the one-size-fits-all model does not work in the world of autism. It's technically called the autism spectrum disorder, and it's because it is a huge spectrum of abilities.
And so what would you want the community to know most about your place?
What I really want the community to know is the goal of including kids is truly to help make an inclusive community. We cannot ourselves help every child and every family on the spectrum. We need this to be a community initiative. With 1 in 68 being on the autism spectrum, if we want to have a community that's successful, where everyone can play their part, we need to understand what autism is and what autism is not. People with autism have just as many abilities as other people. They just might look a little different. And so what we need is the community to open doors, the community to be willing to let our young adults go trial jobs there with support. We need the community to be willing to do art classes and gymnastics classes and not be quick to ask that child to leave because it didn't quite work well the first day. So what we really need is the community to understand autism so that we can figure out how everyone can work together.
What else would you say we need to mention today, Jennifer, that's important to you?
Well, as far as including kids go, you know, we are in the middle of building a campus, so we do always need support with fundraising efforts. We do a lot of initiatives that are free initiatives for families on the spectrum. We do free Parents' Night Out, free Saturday workshops, including childcare. We do autism appreciation events in the community where families can come at no cost into a safe environment. And we are doing a capital campaign to build a campus. So we are always fundraising. So as far as including kids goes, you know, we do ask that you go to our website, includingkids.org, and figure out a way that you can help. But it's not just with dollars. It's also, again, with volunteer hours. It's with creating an opportunity for us coming and helping our young adults learn how to do wood shop or whatever their skills may be. So, you know, it's really about helping including kids help the community. And my challenge to the community is that we all go out. We, at this point, most of us all know or know someone who has autism or experience it ourselves within our family. And so let's try to all go do something for someone we know with autism. Typically, families on the spectrum don't reach out for help because they don't want to be a burden to other people. So you have to reach out to them and say, can I watch your child Friday night so you can go have date night that you never have? When we're having our block party, can we have gluten-free food too so that I know your child can eat the food? It's whatever can do to help support a family with autism.
And so do you actually have a building, location that you meet?
We do. We meet in Atascocita on the corner of Timber Forest and 1960 is our main location. We are building our campus on Timber Forest around the corner from there, but we also do have inclusion bridge sites at a couple of the private schools in the area. So as children are ready to be included, we include them into typical classrooms in private schools in our area. So we have a couple different campuses.
Okay. And so if a person listening wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
They could do it through our website, includingkids.org, and my information's right on the website, and our admissions is there, and all of our fundraising efforts are there. Also on Facebook, if you find us at Including Kids on Facebook, that will always have all of our current upcoming free workshops and Parents' Night Out and all the different things that we are doing around the community.
Wonderful. I'm so glad we had you on today to let the community and even myself know more about your group. and what you do for the community, all the help you give.
Thank you so much. It's like I said, ignorance, my goal is that ignorance is not bliss. And so the more we can get out there and spread the word about what people with autism can do, then I'm happy.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
We are out of time on the lineup today, and I would like to thank Jennifer Dantzler as well as all my other guests on the show. If you need more information about any of the subjects that we covered, you can visit our website at lonestar.edu/Kingwood or by phoning 281-312-1600. Thanks again for joining us today on the lineup. I'm Linda Woehst.